Alright everyone, we are here with War 4 against Made in Brazil. Today I'll be taking in Venom Pool, Mr. Negative, and Human Torch. I've got Path 1 in Section 1 and Path 8 in Section 2, and I've got 3 mini-bosses on Boss Island. So first things first, I'm sharing Path 1 with another person. They took Killmonger on Vigorous Assault, and I was originally going to take this White Magneto with Claire, but ended up discussing with officers and decided to bring Human Torch. It'll be helpful for one of the mini-bosses I was planning on taking with Claire, and the synergy for Venom Pool, which is going to come into play or be helpful as a safety net against Penny Parker, a mini-boss. So game plan here, there is a White Magneto pre-fight on this White Magneto. That's going to give us our passive stuns, and because I don't need my Nova Flame anywhere else, decided to just go ahead and use it here on this White Magneto so that he goes down nice and quick. So the game plan, pretty straightforward, as is with Human Torch, and that's parry, medium, light, medium. And that's the game plan. If he doesn't throw SB1, that's fine. I'm not going to force him to do so. I'm going to keep bullying him until he gets to SB2, just because I'd rather dodge and dex fully SB2 than trying to dodge or dex that SB1. As you can see there, there's still that somewhat glitch when special attacks are thrown, but we end the fight with a perfect yellow bar, so no problems there. Manthing here on node 20, you guys have seen me take this before, so you guys know the game plan. Things get a bit dicey here this time. However, it's just my own stupid mistakes and not really the fact that the global makes this fight really complicated. So usual game plan, parry and reparry. They'll give us 4 lights, throw a heavy, that's a fury for the 5th light, and the 2 hits on the strike counter. And on the hit me, I dare you, evade counter, that puts us at 5 hits. We are at enough light energy. We are just making sure Unstoppable doesn't harm us. Now it's gone. One more timer is coming. It was actually the masochism reset. I know that I've got 2 hits before. Here we go. So now we wait out this Unstoppable, and I, like a dummy, hit the AI since he's hanging out. And then I throw my SB2 now that I know that all the timers are gone for the armor up. Luckily, we didn't end up with any shocks, so RNG on our side there. And here I'm just trying to kind of finish him, and he goes Unstoppable. So I wasn't paying attention to timers and just letting him melt, but easy peasy. All right, Section 8, Path 8 didn't have a champion on the first node. We have a Doctor Strange on the second node. He's got 1 buff at all times, so if I do not dex or if I do not heavy, Mr. Negative will be at the disadvantage for the rich get richer. But since the game plan is usually to parry heavy right at the start, we are going to even that out. He does have his own personal power gain, so he's still going to gain power like he would. It's just not at the amount rich get richer would push him. So game plan is my usual game plan against any mystic that I take, and that's parry heavy 3 times, dash back to convert for 9 light energy, block bait a hit into my block so that I can evade counter, bait out whatever special is going on, especially with this node since he's going to gain quite a bit of power before I get to the end of this first rotation. So here's the block evade. And like a dummy, instead of me just blocking the whole thing, I decide to dex. So 2 hits puts me at 50%. Not that big of a deal, just more so a wasted pot. I evade counter that hit, and we drop the SB2, and away he goes. And the power is going in reverse, so I'm not even going to heavy to try and even it out. I'll just let him lose all of his power. So not a clean fight, but obviously a very easy, very doable fight. Moving on to Mojo here. This is a rank 4 Mojo that I've taken before with my rank 3 Mr. Negative. So first time the rank 4s meet up. As usual, I do not like a PS1 for this fight. I like to organically get to the 10 as we get to the SB2. Game plan, as always, is to parry and combo, ending with a light attack. And I'm going to be a bit more aggressive than I have been the past 2 wars against this node. I'm going to actually do full combos, and I'm going to hit into block so that I can push him to his wall to keep myself from getting cornered. So now we're at 4 light. Unfortunately, we don't trigger a dex there, so I decide to full combo him again for spacing. We get a dex there, so that's good. Now we're going to evade counter to get these 5 into dark, so we're good. Still playing this full combo. He's swinging at air, and of course, like a dummy, I block that instead of just Dex. But it's fine. I noticed that I can be at 10 dark energy, so I'm going to evade counter off the wall into the SP2. It's going to put him just shy, and now I'm going to block. I'm going to let him hit my block. He's going to lose power. He activated a prompt. He lost even more power. I'm just letting him melt. I noticed that it's not going to kill him fully. I think it's going to stop him right at 2%. And now I'm just going to combo him to finish him. So down goes Mojo. Cleaner of the 3 Mojos I've taken this season. All right, I wasn't assigned this long shot, but the 2 that were can't reach it, and he's in the way of my 2 minis. So because I have Human Torch this war now, went ahead and took him. You guys saw me take this. I believe it was the first war of the season. The game plan is just to parry medium, light, medium. At some point, I'm going to try and bait out SB1, and I'm just going to block it. Benefit of hitting him while stunned is that we keep his good karma low so that he doesn't reach Pure of Heart, as long as we're not being too aggressive. And here I'm trying to block and bait SB1 out instead of actually Dex. So now I'm over it. It's Dex. We're going to block the hits, not just to build smolders, not so that we avoid MD. We already have the dexterity buff, so it's going to trigger anyways. We get a block there without triggering Dex, so good to go. Back into the parry medium light. You could push him to SB2. I just don't like pushing Mystics to SB2 a lot of the time because of Mystic Dispersion, but he is Incinerate immune, so if we don't happen to dodge it very well, we have that safety net. And melting away goes long shot, because there is nothing too complicated for this node. I'm not really sure why. This is, I think, 3rd or 4th long shot placed here, probably the 3rd. I'm not quite understanding why he's here. But down he goes, easy peasy, nothing too crazy. It is this Nimrod on Stun Reflect that I swapped out Claire for Human Torch. I was genuinely concerned that I would not be able to keep up buff immunity with the way he has his power lock and power drain abilities when you're throwing special attacks. So I figured since Human Torch doesn't actually need to use special attacks during this fight, that it would be good. So Incinerate, we're going to get bonus damage. That's why we don't need the pre-fight here. We'd rather get the bonus damage, plus we shrug off Stun Reflect. We're paying attention to both timers. He's got one from the global that's every 10 seconds, and then another that's every 11 seconds. That's when he'll gain armor up. So at the start, they'll be pretty close, but then as time goes on, they'll kind of offshoot each other, and there's a tiny window to attack. I'm not going to throw special attacks. I'm going to save for SB3 so that if those tiny windows get even smaller because of Unstoppable actually triggering, I can get myself out of the corner. Worst case scenario, he's got the easiest heavy in the world to dodge, even though I'm going to eat it here pretty soon. And he recovers forever from it. So even if you got pinned against the wall, you can just block the whole time, and you're just going to build smolders because every basic attack from Nimrod is an energy-based attack. So there's the one I get hit by. Woo! But going smooth, I mean, I finally throw SB3 because I was kind of close to the wall, and he was at 18%. And the Nova Flame and everything from here is just going to melt him down. I don't believe I hit him again. So yeah, Nimrod here with the global. Not actually a pain. I know it's RNG. It didn't trigger all the time, but still. Moving on, for the real reason I brought Venom Pool, we got Peni here on Limber and best defense with Brute Force. So we got class advantage, so Brute Force isn't going to do as much, but it will do some. Game plan here is I'm actually going to aggressively attack into her, not her block at the start, just to push her to her wall, in case I get into a situation where I need to make more space to get her to block and turtle so that I can hit into her block. But once she has these charges, I'm only retaliating special attacks with a couple hits until I see the auto block. If I keep hitting into that auto block while it's active, it's just going to build power from the node from best defense. So I'm only doing 1 or 2. If I get Brute Force on me, again, we have the class advantage, so it's not going to be too crazy. We just have to be patient. And all the charges are gone. She baited me into dashing back there and ate up my invulnerability boost. Now she's at SB2, which kind of sucks. And she gets a little stubborn here and isn't going to throw it. Now this SB2 is the reason I liked the fact that I brought Human Torch. If I had failed at this, I wouldn't have taken any of the Incinerate damage, because Venom Pull with Human Torch synergy is Incinerate immune. And you'll also see I'm blocking a lot of SB1s. I did this in the off season. I like to build his cooking meter through the blocked hits of the SB1. Luckily, she had no shield there. We were very easily in range to heavy retaliate her SB1, which gives us that vicious buff, which helps with this DOT. Now, 70% health. Let's see how long this bleed stays. So I'm definitely letting her hit into my block. That's going to kill or build this cooking meter even faster. So we're blocking everything. Got a cheeky intercept there. Her shield is down, so we're not getting auto blocked. Now we could here, so it's back to the single double hits. That bleed is still there. And there's an auto block, no big deal. Builds the cooking meter, bye-bye Peni. So really hard counter for Peni Parker there. Good option if you guys can't bring like a Herc or anyone else, or if you're just not confident in others. But that was the end of my war. RBG ended up getting a donut this war to their 2, so we beat out their BG2, and we ended up winning this war 9-5. Fight time was kind of close, but this is what I want from the matchmaking, to be honest. If you end up in the top 3, you should at least get challenged to maintain it or keep it. And Made in Brazil, I think, was sitting in the number 3 spot. So good war for us, good match. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will catch you guys at the next one.